Well, I see our third quarter guest in the chat. I'm going to add him to the stream here.
Wait, is he?
We are now being joined by Benji Gosnell, starting Virginia Tech tight end. Had a nice year for us. Younger brother to Stephen Gosnell. And Benji, welcome to the show. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Have you been enjoying the game?
Yeah, I have been. First of all, I want to say I couldn't find my earbuds. I don't have.
That's okay. Don't worry about it, man. You sound good.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, I have been. It's been fun. It's been nice just to kind of sit back and watch some ball. I honestly haven't watched much. I've been watching the playoffs, and I watched NFL yesterday for the first time in months.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Judkins found a crease. I hate to say it, but that kind of feels like ball game. I hate to say it, but
dude, their running backs for Ohio State are just studs, man. I mean, Judkins and Travion Henderson are just monsters, and Judkins is standing out tonight for sure.
Oh, they caught him.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, the vision there is crazy. He cut back 3 yards.
A lot of NFL talent. And that's going to segue to my question. And I don't want to start off a segment with Benji by asking about his brother, but you guys had a funny exchange this week on Twitter because Steven said, "Hey, I'm going to the NFL because I can't go to college anymore." And, you had the meme that you sent back and everyone had a good laugh, but it is pretty cool that he's going to get a chance to play or at least, work out for some teams and that kind of thing. What do you think about your brother's chances in the NFL?
I think they're really good. I think a lot of people, I mean, obviously the Hokie Nation, I guess, or people that watch Virginia Tech see it, the talent and the consistency and just everything he brings. But me knowing him personally and everything he can bring outside of football into an NFL locker room, which I think that just expedites his chances that much more. Because a lot of the times, like scouts will tell us, not us, but like we'll tell the people they interact with around the facility. It's like they're not asking how well you can run a route or stuff like that. They're asking, does he show up on time? How does he work in the weight room? What's his class like? Does he go to class? Things like that. And Steven checks every single box. And then if you cut the tape on, you see a physical receiver, you see a fast receiver, you see a sure-handed receiver. You see somebody that can break tackles and get in the open field and win on one-on-one routes and has a high IQ and zone coverage where to run adjust routes. So, yeah, I love his chances. And he's going to find a team, and he's going to end up making a roster, and I'm going to enjoy watching him.
Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't get drafted, I think he's displayed over his time at Virginia Tech with the way he can bounce back from the injuries or whatever else. Like, he must be one of the hardest working guys on the team. And I think he can – I mean, why couldn't he be a Hunter Renfrow type? Maybe the speed would hold him back from being like high up on a scout's board, but I think the work ethic and, like you said, all the extracurriculars that he does and the stuff he brings to a team, he'll have a shot in the NFL for sure. Mm-hmm. Let's get back to you. I saw a clip of you. I think it was after one of the bowl practices, and you seemed like you were loving every minute of it. I know it was December and it's cold out and guys are opting out and things like that. But you seem to be enjoying the bowl prep. And when it's a different group, when you've got guys transferring out, is there a different energy? Is practice still largely the same? Like, is it hard to get up for those bowl practices?
For me, no, because I love this game. I love this place. I love the people I'm around every day. So no, I think as a team and as a culture, it can be, as you just see people leaving day in and day out, like this guy entered, this guy's opting out. It can be. And so that's where people that like some people like me or Aiden Green or like Kevin Gilliam was one, Caleb Woodson, Jaden Keller, like those guys just on both sides of the ball that bring extra juice and extra energy to the facility and practice and meetings rooms and the game and the bowl side, things like that. That's where we just have to step up and kind of bring the energy level up a notch, which I did, which is probably why you saw me. I mean, I'm always kind of that type of person, but I was definitely trying to bring things up a notch just because I know that it can be easy to fall into a slump like that if you're really overthinking it. But I don't overthink things. Like everyone else, go do what you want to do. But for me, like I love this place. I love the sport. and I'm going to play it how I play it, and I'm going to bring the energy I bring every day, no matter what.
Oh yeah, it was definitely refreshing to hear some of your takes on various guys, and you clearly find. Well, let me ask you this: you find those practices valuable? Because as fans, we're like, oh, we want to get the bowl game so these kids can get more practices. Like, do you think that those practices were beneficial to the younger guys on the team and yourself?
100%. The games or the practices, the game. I mean, we probably got, I want to say at least 20, at least 15, like a whole spring ball of practices just in that December, early January timeframe. And 100%. I got better. I know for a fact I got better because you just every day you're just like, all right, I want to get better at this. Or I want to get better at this. And then I saw like constant improvement between maybe younger guys on defense. I was like, this dude's making plays, or on offense. I'm like, this guy's really starting to come along. And you see it when you're there every day and you see these guys and you're with these guys every day, whether they're speaking more confidently in meeting rooms or whether they're just going out there and playing a lot looser and having a lot more fun out there during practice while they're playing and running plays. You notice little incremental things every day, and they're 100% a huge benefit.
Yeah, as we get here into winter workout season, obviously it's about, getting bigger, faster, stronger as we head into spring ball. How do you attack that as a tight end? Are you trying to, I guess, balance the difference between I need to be a big, powerful blocker, but I also need to be agile and nimble as a pass catcher? What is the winter workouts like for you at a position that needs to be so good at so many different athletic fields?
Yeah, well, I think for me personally, like you said, I'm trying to I haven't got an off season in like 3.5 years or like 4 years because I've been recovering from a knee surgery every off season. Like my senior year of high school, then my freshman year of college, and then I played last year with a torn meniscus and torn cartilage. So then after last year, I had a cartilage replacement and meniscus repair. So I didn't really have an off season this past year either. So for me, it's just about developing my lower body strength and finally having an off season to get that really strong, get faster. But yeah, for me, my main goal this year, obviously, get stronger in the lower body development, and then try to recomposition my body. That's what Steven said. He's like, you need to just change your body. Like you can stay the same weight, which I played at like 258, 259, but just like change how it looks. Like get bigger down there in the legs, get a bigger upper body, get a bigger frame, get more flexible, and things like that. So for me, it's just actually having a good off season where I can develove my lower body strength. Not having
I knew you had the high school injury and then a couple injuries in college, but I didn't think about that. You've probably had an operation after every season. That's crazy. What's your favorite lift? Favorite thing to do? You get to the gym, you're like, oh, I can't wait to blank today.
Power clean.
Nice.
Love power cleans.
Love a guy who loves power clean. That's awesome. So
that's crazy.
We need to know who the next strength and conditioning coach is going to be. There's been some speculation on our end that it might be a guy that's already in the building. How much time do you spend with the strength and conditioning coach? Is it like, because all off season you're just in the gym, right?
Yeah, you're only with them. Like you get closer to your strength and conditioning coach and coaches closer than you get with your position coach. Like for a lot of the time, because like for our position, we're not around our position coaches. I mean, they're in during our like hunger drills, I guess, but like we're always in the weight room. We're training. We're coming up with plans. Our nutritionists and strength staffs are meeting. I mean, those are the people that kind of drive our physical development, and then that obviously leaks into our gameplay and how we can play. But yeah, I mean, we're with them every single day for at least 3 or 4 hours.
So having these changes on the staff, losing Coach Galt, like, did that hit you and other players hard? Like, it's tough to see that happen. I know we all know it's a business, but when it affects personal relationships, like, is that hard to see these coaches go out the door?
Yeah, it is. And it'll affect other people more than it'll affect me, because like or it'll affect other people less than it affect me, because like for me, I came in with Coach Galt, like his first day was my first day in the weight room. So it is different for us guys that have been with him for 3 years at this point. Mm-hmm. And it does stink because you, like I said, you grow so close with them, not just in the weight room, but like, you're hanging out after a tough lift or whatever. And they're done and we're done. And we're just kind of talking in their office, and you're getting to know them on a personal level. And that's why one of the reasons I love Coach Galt so much is he loved you as a player and a person. So you could always talk to him about anything. So it is hard. It is hard to see them go. But I think he did land at Marshall, so it's nice to see him just put his foot right back on the trail.
Yeah,
keep working, keep doing what he loves, and I'm sure he'll develop those Marshall guys real well. But yeah, it does affect you because, like I said, you get to know them personally, not just as your coach.
And that's what I think a lot as fans, like, we kind of dismiss some of that, or just we don't see it. And there are real people going through real life things here, and that's good perspective from you. I wanted to ask about one more question. Go ahead.
Before you ask that, Notre Dame's at a 4th and 2 here. They're down 21 points with 11:30 left in the third, and it's 4th and 2. They're punting. That's a surrender punt from Marcus Freeman. Oh, they're going to fake it. That was the most obvious fake. They were in punt safe. Drop the ball. Man, that was Marcus Freeman, buddy. Buddy. What are you doing?
That's tough. That's tough.
I'm like 6 seconds behind y'all, so I'm not the one.
He put their national title hopes in the hands of a fake punt.
But like, do you think he should have gone? Like, what would you rather have done?
Audible out of something when the defense is in punt safe.
Yeah.
They were practically in zone coverage right there.
Bro,
are you going to miss playing with your brother, Benji? Or are you kind of looking forward to having your own time at Tech?
Oh my gosh, catch the daggone ball. That's what you're paid to do. Sorry. That's both. I was actually talking about that to someone today, and I was like, I miss him because he's also my roommate. So I'm living by myself right now. So I think it'll be fun and interesting to see, not to see, but just kind of like have a college year without Steven. I mean, it's probably not going to be different. I'm 21 years old. I've been in college for 3 years.
So you're over 21.
I feel like an old man.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like an old man, though, as far as the college scene goes. But I'm going to miss it because, I don't know. Obviously, you talk about, like, having brothers and legit family, which I thought that's one of the reasons I love Virginia Tech. But it is a little different when you look at that at your actual family you're sitting next to every day. So I'm excited, and I'll miss him, but he's on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, you guys should have your own little time there and see what happens while you're there. But don't you guys have like a ton of siblings?
Yeah, I have 12 siblings. I'm one of 13.
So are there any more Gosnell brothers coming to Virginia Tech at some point? Like, what's the order?
So for football, no, but my brother, the order is Steven's the 11th. I'm the 12th. There's a younger brother, so the 13th. So
so you're the babies of the family.
Yeah, we are. My younger brother is a senior in high school, and he actually did apply here, and he might come. Actually, I don't know. He's not a ball player or anything, but
okay,
he's smart, and he might do engineering or something. But yeah, there's a young one, but he ain't gonna be on a football.
Can you keep all their birthdays straight if you have 12 siblings?
I know every month the dates.
That's honest right there.
I'll say the dates of the oldest 3. I'm not sure. Like I know it's either like one or the other. Like for example, my oldest sister, I know her birthday's either May 30th or May 31st.
Understood. Yeah, you're in the ballpark. So how old is your oldest sister or your oldest sibling?
So my oldest sibling he's about to turn 39 February, and he's one of the ones where it's either like February 7th or 9th or one of those two, but he'll be 39.
So so you've got a 39-year-old sibling, and then you got one a senior high school. So your parents have been parenting hard for 40 years. That's crazy, man. They have not had an empty nest in 40 years. That's wild.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
So Benji had a pretty darn good 2024 season. Obviously, everyone wants to do better in the next year. For you, and you're looking at this offense, and you're bringing in some new guys in the offensive line, but you're returning Aiden Green, returning some guys in the backfield. What do you think this offense needs to do to take the next step? I
think play for each other. I I think when we start playing for a different purpose, that's when we can all collectively we can be cohesive and we can collectively play as one. And that's when we play to our true potential, is when we're playing for the other person and not for our personal gain. I think with the older guys in the room, what we have now, we can push that culture. People are going to buy in, and that's when our true colors will show, and that's when our explosiveness will really be on display every Saturday without hesitation.
Are
So
there any
what are
young?
the- sorry, go ahead.
Are there any young guys that you've seen who have kind of adopted that and really brought that mentality, and maybe are the guys next up for 2025? Because we heard so much about Aiden Green, and obviously that came true. I mean, he's one of the most explosive wide receivers I've seen at Tech in a while. So who's next up for the offense?
You named the first person to come to mind when you said it. So AG, he's been really good in kind of pushing a culture and things like that. Honestly, Pop is good. Pop is coming along really good in the mindset, just being more vocal and stuff. Obviously, we have Kyron back too, and he's been doing a pretty good job. Let me see. I don't know much of the new guys yet, but I feel like some of our new offensive linemen will be pretty vocal and be pretty adamant about pushing a culture, because just meeting them and hearing them talk for a little bit, I'm like, yeah, this is where you need to be. As far as like coming along, like Brody Adams, I could see just being like coming. People would be like, whoa, like just kind of exploding, similar to AG did in later the season and things like that. He was one of those guys I was talking about in December, where you just never know, every day notice he's getting better. Yeah, I mean, those are just a few names that come to mind. Obviously, we have like a whole new offensive line, but y'all be surprised to hear the names. And like Tommy Ricard came along really well later in the season with the more reps he got.
Yeah, we wanted to see him in the bowl game, but did he get? What happened there? Was he sick or something?
He got really sick. Yeah, it went around the stomach bug our team, because honestly I think I gave it to everyone, because I lost
patient zero.
Yeah, legit. I lost like 15 pounds a week before we played.
Jeez.
Just puking for 7 hours straight. I woke up at like 4 a.m. and I did take a nap, and I didn't go to sleep again until noon. And then my brother got it that Sunday, and then you just kind of heard like this assistant got it, or this guy got it. But yeah, Tommy was the one that he was one of those guys that just got it. And Tommy's a real like high spirited kind of guy like I am. And on game day, on like our game day like walk through in the hotel, he was just like, he looked like a zombie. And I'm like, dang.
Well, Tommy Ricard, shout out Hudson Explorers, roll HUD.
I wanted to ask about the TE room real quick, because I'm looking at all these portal guys we bring in, and the position group at tight end is like, it's a little lighter than some of the, I know it's, not one of the ones you're always stacked up super high like some of the other rooms, but I'm only seeing 3 of you guys right now in terms of scholarship guys. Are you expecting there to be some additions in the tight end room before next fall, or are they going to convert some people, or maybe one of these portal guys ends up playing tight end?
I don't know. So I know we offered a few, and a few visited over like the bowl prep season type thing. I don't know if that's something they'll do. I guess there's like a next portal season or whatever in May or whatever. I don't know if that's something they'll do. Our position coach is pretty good about letting us know, like, hey, this guy's visiting, yada, yada, yada. I don't want y'all to be surprised. Like, but he does a good job of like informing us, letting us know we want to keep our room together. Doesn't want anybody leaving or anything. But I don't know. Like, I know that's something we tried to get done. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's something we get done by fall. But I don't really know if that's.
I'm also curious with the tight ends, because of the blocking responsibilities. Do you ever meet with the offensive line and the offensive line coach regularly?
Yes, we meet with them, and we do a lot of like, we incorporate some individual drills with them, like tight end tackle things and pass pro and communication stuff like that. Yes, we do.
So Coach Moore is going to impact your day to day.
Yeah. Okay. He was around during our bowl prep. Got to meet him. Great dude, great coach, obviously. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with him.
I think our last couple things for you are just like, what are your goals for you personally and as a team next year? Do you have like a catch goal or anything?
No.
No.
Win goal is the only one that I really care about.
Okay. Team guy.
I guess personal goal is just stay healthy. I mean, that's always my goal. After 3 knee surgeries, all you want to do for yourself is stay healthy. You could care less what you do. You just want to not have to go through another surgery. But and then team goals. Team goals, like I said, just be as the most cohesive unit that I've ever been around. Because if we can do that, we can light up a scoreboard, no matter if it's in Lane or if it's in Albuquerque. I don't know, whatever.
I do a home and home with New Mexico. Let's go.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Honestly, I thought that was Canada. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know.
You're Alberta, Canada?
Alberta, maybe. I don't know. Whatever. But I was just trying to be dumb and funny. But no, I mean, be the most cohesive unit we can. And then, yeah, I mean, just win the first game.
You want to win games. And that's the best goal.
Phase 2, win every phase, and then win fall camp and win the first game.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about that one. I want to go down for that.
How cool is it? I mean, you're watching this stadium, this field. Y'all are going to be the next team to play on that field.
Yeah. So,
that's pretty cool.
I was telling my girlfriend's actually sitting right beside me, but I was actually telling her, I was like, we're playing our first game of the season here. She's like, oh, cool. But yeah, I did actually know that. It is cool. Steven, he's not going to play with me. Never mind. He's played here before. I'll ask him how it is. He played there with his previous establishment, but yeah.
I'm kind of bummed because they got the Chick-fil-A in the stadium, but the game's on Sunday. So
I thought about that. That makes no sense.
Ain't no Chick-fil-A going to happen.
Yeah, I know. My dad's a pastor. I don't know if he'll make the game.
Well, listen, man, we're gonna let you go. Thank you so much for coming on and chopping it up with us for a little bit. Enjoy the rest of the game and have a great next season, Benji.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all enjoy it.
Yeah,
no problem, man.
Looking forward to it, Benji.
Sweet.
Bye. All right, and let's add our next guest. He's in the room.
All right, here's
Jonathan Talley joins the stream. What's up, JT? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How y'all living?
Good. We've been having a good time watching this game. Of course, it's not as competitive as we were hoping for.
Man, y'all should have knew what was going to happen.
I think I talked. Guys, full honesty, I think I talked myself into what I wanted to happen. Yeah. Like, I just Notre Dame looks anemic on offense. They've picked up a couple first downs here, but they can't run the ball. Riley Leonard can't throw the ball. They can't get stops on defense. Like they don't look like one of. Yeah. I mean, they don't. They look like a team that potentially got upset by a MAC team right now. That's what they look like. That's what they look like.
That's messed up. They deserve a little bit more respect than that with what they've done. But I hear you. Tally, are you of the opinion, looking at the playoff bracket and the way it played out, that the one side was a lot more difficult than the other side of the bracket? Like,
not really. I guess I didn't pay attention as much as I probably should have, but it was like I expected what happened to happen. You know, it's like watching the games was fun to me. Like watching football is fun to me, and getting on people's heads about not wanting to watch football is fun to me. Yeah. So to hear people talk about how it wasn't exciting and, you know, they need to change this and that. And y'all, you know, I'm in the middle of SEC country. So because they're not winning, you know, it's a big deal. So to me, it's funny. But I talked about what the game would look like on our pod when everybody was like, man, I think it's going to be a close game. I'm like, when has the games been close? Like, when the national championship is not – we got to go back like 8 years to get a close national championship game.
That's interesting.
It's always one team is head and shoulders like more ready. I ain't going to say the better team, but they're like head and shoulders more ready for that game than the other team. And I broke down like each game going back 8 years and like we had to go back. I can't even remember who was playing. But
it's the Alabama-Georgia overtime game that you threw. That's the last competitive national title game. Everything else has been blowouts.
65-7. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody complained when Georgia beat the shit out of TCU. 65-7.
That was horrible. Yeah.
Like I ain't gonna say nobody complained, but the masses didn't. Like all the SEC fans that I'm around is like, I told y'all we just better. And I'm like, no, it's just one team is always like ready for that game a little bit more than the other team, in my opinion. So I was like Ohio State by 21 was my.
You nailed it, man. It's looking like you're gonna get there. Because I told Sam we signed on to do our preview of the Natty last week, and
right.
I was all set to be like, Ohio State's going to win. They don't have the horses up front, Notre Dame, with the injuries. And then we talk about how good they've been, and their passing defense is so good. Well, Will Howard goes out and completes the first 13 passes or whatever, and it's like, all right, well, now like that's all out the window. So I talked myself into Notre Dame throughout that pod,
right?
And I really shouldn't have done that because Ohio State has been so good since the Michigan loss. It's like that loss doesn't even make any sense, right?
Right. And I mean, I'm definitely like I was a big I want Notre Dame to win fan. You know what I'm saying? Because I really like Marcus Freeman. I think he's done a great job. I would have loved for him to like finish the deal so we can talk shit about Brian Kelly because I hate him. But like looking at the preview of the game and just watching the two teams, I was like, one of those teams is going to be better than the other one on that day. That team's probably going to be Ohio State. I just felt like they had more pieces. And look at the backfield. Like they had a stud running back, and then you go and say, hey, we're going to go get another stud running back, and everybody's got to be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the kudos to the kids to just keep playing, like, you know, Henderson, then they go get Judkins. Like,
it's crazy, man.
It's crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's too. I don't want to
like Henderson's a physical specimen already.
Yeah.
And Judkins just like power slam that kid into the turf, run into the end zone.
Come on, man. It's like you got two running backs that could go in the first round on the same team. That's nuts.
Let's get to Hokies real quick here, Tally, because you do the Boundary Corner podcast with Brian and Curtis and Shelton, and it's a great show. I love tuning in. You guys always do the live stuff, and we're taking a little page out of your book doing this here tonight. We've made some changes to the staff, something we were all calling for, but those changes were perhaps not what to your liking. And you've been outspoken about, Notre Dame's doing a little something.
Yeah, Notre Dame moving a little bit. I see this.
Okay.
Not dead yet? Is that what we're going to say? Touchdown
not
Notre Dame.
Yet. Well, let's see what Ohio State does when they get the ball.
But particularly regarding Coach Marv.
Yeah.
And I want to get a clear stance on this because you've been of the take that like, why are we blaming just Marv and firing him when the whole team has struggled? So let's be clear. Did you want both Bowen and Marv to be let go, just Bowen, or neither of them? Like, what were you thinking?
If we were going to let people go and if we were going to all be so vocal and happy about it and dance around, like if I would have wanted both of them gone. I wanted the head coach gone. Like I felt like the whole operation was not what it was supposed to be. And I felt like it was all predicated on the head coach. Like the head coach is the one who, when you look at the wins and losses, when you look at the close games, like that's beside his name.
Yeah.
So that's where my stance was. And people were like, well, the defense did this and the defense did that. And I'm like, okay, if you really break it down, like Pry's a defensive head coach, right? So they said we scored 30 points a game. I'm like, well, we had the offense to score 50 points some of them games. Just because you score some points don't mean that you're good. You got to score enough points to win. So I felt like with Pry being a defensive head coach, our defense shouldn't look how it looks, no matter who the defensive coordinator was, because he should step in or fire somebody in the middle of the season. Like if you're not doing the job that I need you to do and I need to win games, then you need to get out. So we were inexperienced at head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. I felt like with Pry's experience, we know we can't get rid of him just money-wise, right? So I'm looking at it like we need help on the offensive side so we can do the right things at the right time on offense. I thought it would have been easier to bring in some experience on offense than it would be on defense. Because, I mean, you got Bud Foster there now. You know, that helps. What was he at when you had a brand new defensive coordinator? You know,
well, he was in the building, and there's various whispers of whether maybe Marv didn't want advice. This is hearsay. I don't know what the situation was. So, like, was Marv seeking the advice that perhaps he needed? And maybe that was rubbing somebody the wrong way. But I know Coach Pry loves Coach Bowen. I know he loves Coach Marv. So it had to kill him to fire one of them, and he ended up
Yeah.
firing the defensive coordinator. And there could have been other reasons behind that,
Right.
but I hear you, man. Because I told
And
you, like,
let's be clear, like Marv deserved to get fired. Like I'm okay with him getting fired. I wasn't advocating for him to stay.
yeah,
I just thought that, you know, how excited we got about it was kind of a scapegoat move.
Yeah.
As a fan, you know, but I
You know,
feel like I got to give Pry his props because he did make a move and a move had to be made.
yeah.
You know, because
Made a
at
couple
one point,
moves, right?
yeah, at one point I was like, he's not gonna do nothing. You know, he's not gonna fire nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's just gonna stay what
Yeah.
it is, and we're gonna have to be okay with it. But
You
he
know
did.
what?
He made some big moves.
I see our other third quarter guest in the chat. I'm going to add him to the screen right now, and he's going to help us with this conversation.
Oh, hell. What's up, y'all?
Dax Hollifield
What's up,
is
man?
in the chat. We got him, Tally, me, and Sam here going full quad screen. And we're talking about
Yep.
Chris Marv. And I know for you, Dax, this is probably a little bit touchy, right? Like you played for Coach Marv. You were our starting middle linebacker when he came in. And it sucks to have to, this is the reality
Yeah.
of the business, right? Like, what was your opinion on the season? And did you feel like changes had to be made because it was a little bit of a disappointing season?
Definitely the season was it didn't live up to expectations. You know, I think definitely it didn't do that. I love Coach Marv though. He was my last coach I ever had. Great man, great leader, great motivator. I want him to coach my son if I had to do it, you know, if I had a choice. I mean, like I said, he's a great motivator, just person, leadership aspect of things. He does a great job. This year, though, I mean, the standard just wasn't up to par, you know, when it comes to that defensive performance. And so I don't know if the answer was to fire Marv. But I mean, that was a decision that's made. I'm going to support whatever Coach Pry, what he's going to do, you know. And so
Yeah.
I got his back, and, you know, he felt like that's what needed to happen. So, you know, I got to trust him. He's the head guy, and he knows what's best for the program.
It's tough, but we definitely we see a new strength and conditioning coach is going to be coming in too. Change is definitely needed to happen. And this is this is maybe a reductive question, but like when you think about the defensive coordinator we need to hire and the strength and conditioning coach we need to hire, which one is more important to the future of Virginia Tech, Dax? Like, is it, and I know they're both really important, but if you had to choose one.
You know, I'm a meathead. I love the gym, but like I think just the way this place was found, what it's built on, you know, LPD. I mean, I went to come to the school for Bud Foster. You know, he's the total reason I came to Virginia Tech. And that is really what I want my school, how I want our program the foundation be built on, is just having a nasty defense. I'm not saying like the strength and conditioning ain't a massive part of it. Mike Gentry, I mean, I've never met him, heard so much about him. I mean, he was also a staple while we got so good for that long of a period of time, you know. And so I think they go hand in hand. But I mean, what defense it means to this place is, I mean, that's really what I want to get back to. I think that's where you win championships. You can look at it right now in Ohio State. I mean, their defense is just full of dogs. I mean, they got they got great offensive firepower, but I mean, 1 through 11 on the defense side of the ball. I mean, they're flying every play. They're hungry, and they play for their brother, and that's what Coach Foster used to always talk about. And so that's really where I think that's where we need to get back to, in my opinion.
We saw with the last two defensive coordinators, whether it was Justin Hamilton or Coach Marv, you don't need experience to be good at your job, but neither of those guys had the experience of being a D1 play caller prior to coming to Virginia Tech. Tally, when you're thinking about who we're going to hire at DC, does the guy need to have had play calling experience at the D1 level, in your opinion?
I mean, I feel like, yeah. Because at this point, I mean, you got to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, right out of the gate next year, you got to play South Carolina, then you play Vandy. You can't go 0-2 in those games. You cannot go 0-2. So you can't figure it out. You know, this is Pry's fourth year, and you already had the Boo Birds out, and you're getting great talent in. Like, they're recruiting at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Think about Dax Kane. Think about his recruitment, and he's gonna go here, he's going there, and then he ends up in Virginia Tech. Like, you have to be able to get players like that, but also get them to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Whether that next level just be ACC accolades or NFL, depending on what the player wants. but you got to be able to do that stuff. And at this point, you can't learn on the job next year. So I feel like it's going to be very, very important for them to get somebody who has experience or some kind of, being around a person that has experience and has taught them that they can go out and pretty much stand on their own. So it'll be interesting. I've heard a lot of names thrown out. I'm sure y'all
so many names, dude. And maybe they're coaching tonight, right? That's what we keep talking about. Like maybe they're in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try not to listen anymore.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback on top of Talley. The development aspect of things is huge. I really think, obviously X's and O's are huge in itself, but just going out there and learning technique and being developed a certain way, being a great football player when it comes to the intangibles you have to have in your bag to be a great football player, that's really where I want to see a coach that has a resume of putting guys to the next level, just developing really good players, and that's where I felt like really where Bud cut his teeth at, is just developing really good football players, and I want that to get back.
And you got to love the fact that he's going to have a larger role, right? Like that's what they're saying, is that Bud's going to be not the DC, but maybe the first assistant to the DC, whatever that is. So a little bit of a larger role than maybe he had the last couple years. And in terms of getting the talent in and developing it and getting to the next level, we're seeing JC Price be able to bring in these portal defensive ends because of the coaching that he's done the last couple of years. And we need that to happen more across the entire defense. Let's move to specifically the linebackers, since we have Dax here. We've moved a lot of our guys to multiple positions in the linebacking core, whether it's, even yourself, you started playing backer, you end up at Mike, which might maybe been your more natural position. How hard is it to move back and forth? Is it a big deal? Like as some of us, everymen think, like, we can't be moving these guys around, it's too hard to learn the different ones? Or did you make you a better linebacker by playing both?
It made me a better linebacker for sure. I feel like I had that type of football IQ for it, though. I think everybody should know Mike and Will, in my opinion. Maybe Sam's a little bit different, but depth was always a huge part for us. In my time at Virginia Tech, we didn't really have a lot of it, so you had to learn both, in my opinion. Now, will I say you need to be switching throughout the year, like just rotating people from Mike to Will? Like, I don't think that. I think if you got guys that are really good at this one position, keep them there. But I think it's better to learn. I always thought football, the defense is like a big old puzzle. I tried to figure out where everybody. I always felt sound when I knew everybody else was going to be where they were going to be. I'm one piece of the 11. And I always felt like that gave me a peace of mind. So that helped me, but I don't know about everybody else, honestly.
I wanted to ask you that too, like getting comfortable enough with the defense to make the calls, to get guys lined up. That's when you move guys around and you have Jaden Keller in and out and other guys in and out. How long does it take to get comfortable enough to have the confidence to get the defense lined up? You felt like,
I think it's all about rhythm, man.
Yeah.
It's all about chemistry and rhythm. Some of the time, I remember 2019, we were really playing at a high level through that stretch. It was just, I remember Rook, I sort of had the boundary, Rook had the field, and I remember Chamari had it locked down in nickel. Devon was at the free safety. Jermaine was out there, corner, Caleb Frost. We were just a cohesive group. We just had chemistry together. I knew that he was going to be there. I was going to be here. It just worked, and just getting that flow, getting that chemistry right, and having your brothers back. I feel like that really is where it comes down to. The best teams have the best chemistry, in my opinion. So, I think once you find good chemistry, let's not change it. Let's build on top of that, So.
And both of you guys, Talley and Dax, have to be excited about what you saw out of Caleb Woodson this year. Because he seems like he could be maybe the best player on the defense next season.
Oh, yeah.
My thing that really,
sure.
My thing that really impressed me is even when the offense schemed up a play where they caught him out of position pre-snap, he had the ability to get to the spot that he needed to be better than any linebacker I saw for Tech this year. And stash looks great. It does look great, Dax. Yeah, Dax shout out to the stash. I think that he
appreciate it, man. Grit,
even when the
okay,
offense,
Billy
even when the
Ray, come
offense
on.
schemed up with great plays, Caleb, his IQ and his tenacity as a linebacker, he was able to make up for that. And I think Tech needs more players like that. Like there were too many times this year that I thought Virginia Tech was beaten pre-snap. And you need some guys who can say, screw whatever play call. I'm going to go make the play. I'm going to cover two positions at once. I'm going to
For
sprint 10, 15 yards across the field. So he needs to be a leader on this defense. He and the guy we had on here a few minutes ago, Dante, need to be leaders and really good players for Tech next year.
Yeah, definitely. Caleb's a dog, man. He has a rare combination of really good athleticism and really high IQ, and he reminds me of a guy like Xavier DB, like he can just make, like you said, make up for somebody else if a play breaks loose, watching X from just watching his old film. He just used to fly around and just make plays, man. Don't matter if it was a busted defense or anything. He's going to make plays, fixed it. He was an eraser. He was a daggum eraser out there.
That's what I thought about Kelly Lawson when he first came to Tech, was like, he didn't have all of the perfect football tactics, but like he could make up for a play early on. And that's why we all got so hopeful about his future. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out and he's gone, and we're going to be changing so many pieces of the defense. And Tally, you see 19 portal guys coming in.
That's crazy.
And some of them quite talented, like guys that are going to start day one, especially on the O-line and D-line and that kind of thing. Do you, over this past month, with the vibes changing a little bit around the program, are you getting back on the hype train? Do you think we can exceed the 6-win mark next year?
I mean, to be honest, who is never not on the hype train? Like all you need is just a little bit,
right.
A little bit of hope, like a faith
taste.
of a mustard seed. You know what I'm saying? And you ready to go. But it's like, for real, for somebody like myself, like, I ain't gonna say I'm super critical, but I'm just like a realist for the most part. And I'm like, okay, this don't look right. That looks stupid. What are we doing here? Why would you fire him and not fire him? But you know what I'm saying? Just looking at stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, why is it taking so long to get a defensive coordinator? But then we keep getting like high level defensive guys. And I'm like, how we get him? How we get him? How we get this dude? Oh, this dude is good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I do know how, because I haven't been in a room, but I've got some connections with some people that I really trust that have been in the rooms, and Prize, and I've talked to him too. Like, he's real about what he says. So I got to go back to giving him his props on him.
He can recruit, man.
He's a good recruiter. He's a good person. Like he's an honest person. You know what I'm saying? He's serious about trying to get the best for people. And then I look at certain things and it's like, dang, man, I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I have to, because when you look at some coaches, when they go in, they'll just go in and they'll clear the roster out. They're like, oh, you ain't good enough to be here. You got to go. Like when he got here, he gave just about everybody a chance. Like some people shouldn't have been at Virginia Tech, just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't have the talent level to be there. I ain't gonna say they shouldn't have been there, but the talent level for them to produce at Virginia Tech wasn't gonna be to a certain level. But I feel like when he came in, he blew the year to be like, okay, I want to give y'all a chance because you made a choice to come to this school, so I'm going to give everybody an opportunity. And then with that being said, he also said, I got to go get somebody to take your spot. So if you don't get out and produce, I got somebody else coming in. So I got to give him
look at the running back room and the safety room right now.
Yeah.
Talk about competition. I mean,
somebody hit me up about that. And they was like, so what do you think about this? Are you going to talk about this on the show? Why are we getting so many safeties and why are we getting so many running backs? I said, do you remember when we played Clemson and we ran the ball 4 times because we didn't have no fucking
with an injured running back?
Yeah, you gotta and next year is a year where they have to win.
They have to put up or shut up for sure.
They gotta put up or shut up. Look at this. This is crazy.
Did he fumble it?
I don't know.
He looked down, but the refs called it a fumble. That ball's out.
You know how that goes.
Dax, quick before we're gonna have to let you guys go in a second. We're gonna start fourth quarter with some other guests, but it's off season for NASCAR, right, Dax? You're still doing the pit crew thing, and it's a very short off season in NASCAR.
Yeah, it's from November to the week after the Super Bowl. So February. What's
the day-to-day like for you right now? Are you still are you lifting every day? Are you watching film? How does it work?
Yeah, I'll work out in the morning, then go to practice around probably 10 or 11, and then I'll probably go work in the shop working on our pit jacks and things like that. It's yeah.
Quick question: what does practice look like? Like, are there this is a serious question? Are there like drills that you do?
No,
do you work with different
we'll
tools?
just like
how
go
do
out there
you-
and do what we do at the track. Just come and do 4 tire stops and.
I'm
You're
black. I don't know
probably
nothing about NASCAR. Do y'all be?
You live in the South, Tally.
And I don't be going to no Talladega.
Dude,
like that.
Alvin Kamara is a big part of NASCAR right now. He's definitely.
I know some people to get in it.
Into it. He's always at the track, but it's I mean, we
it's
go
crazy.
4 tire stops.
It's crazy.
We got film. We got like 6 different camera angles.
That's sick.
That's what we do. It's a pretty seamless transition from football to NASCAR. It really is. I mean, everybody on our team is former collegiate athletes. Some of them had short stints in the pros as well. And so, yeah, I'm blessed to be where I'm at. I love it. But we start back, I think the Daytona 500 is like February 15th or something like that. And so,
middle of the
I'm
month,
on
for sure.
71, Michael McDowell. So I'm the jack man for him this year. So
Cool, man.
hopefully
And
we
if
get a
you
race
guys want a little
in the
bit more
race.
information on Dax in NASCAR, Rich and I did an interview with him before the season. Go back and check that out. It was a good interview, and it was cool to hear Dax talk about his new profession. Even though
you, fun, man.
Are you married? Are you married? You got a girlfriend?
Almost. She's upstairs.
So don't say nothing crazy. But is it like
she won't be
does
watching this. That's okay.
Does NASCAR have like groupies? You know what I'm saying? Like NASCAR.
Oh yeah, we call them pit lizards. Dude, crazy though. I swear, you'll see some wild stuff at the track. I don't know. It's a traveling circus though. I mean, it's 36 races a year, and it's just we go to a city, pick up, set everything out, race, pick everything up, and head back home. And we do the same.
And you got to
thing
do
over
all the
and over
loading
again.
too, right?
I help out. Yeah, we help out. We take care of the pit box, put it back on the truck, and they take it home and go to the next city. I mean, it's a traveling circus. It really is. So a lot of fun though.
All right, fellas. Well, dude, thank you, Tally. Thank you, Dax, for being here.
Cheers,
we're moving
fellas.
quick tonight. Yeah, cheers. Thank you for being here. It was
I
awesome.
don't have a beer. Damn, I got work in the morning. But hey, great meeting you, Tally.
Yeah,
you too, man.
good chat with you, fellas. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
See y'all.